The Exorcist, Believer steps into the formidable shadow of the 1973 classic, The Exorcist, a movie hailed as the greatest horror film of all time. It's a daunting legacy, one that director David Gordon Green attempts to honor and reinterpret. While it retains some of the original spine-tingling tension and introduces a fresh perspective, Believer struggles to escape the long-reaching influence of its predecessor. The story at the core of The Exorcist was deceptively simple. A mother with vast resources and access to top doctors must turn to a priest to combat an otherworldly force afflicting her daughter. In Believer, the narrative echoes this structure but introduces new characters and dynamics. Victor Fielding is an atheist widower who is fiercely protective of his 13-year-old daughter, Angela. Angela yearns for more freedom, which creates a classic father-daughter dynamic ripe for demonic possession. Similarly, Catherine, sheltered by her devoutly Catholic parents Miranda and Tony, shares a rebellious streak with Angela, leading them to explore the spirit world with eerie consequences. Early in the film, Believer excels in building tension and dread, especially when the fate of the girls remains unresolved. Green capitalizes on what isn't seen, a technique that worked effectively in the original. Angela and Victor's close relationship, despite his zealous parenting, adds depth to the characters. However, the horror takes a backseat once the girls return, battling their inner demons. One notable departure from the original is the concept of synchronized possession, where both girls are afflicted simultaneously. This idea introduces themes of conflicting belief systems under extreme circumstances, offering potential for intriguing drama. Yet, it falls short in delivering inventive scares. The possession episodes feel disconnected from one another, diminishing the concept's impact. Jewett and O'Neill deliver enthusiastic, operatic performances, but the lack of differentiation between their cases makes their plights feel interchangeable. Believer leans heavily toward the Fielding family's perspective, leaving Catherine's family underdeveloped. This imbalance diminishes the emotional weight of their salvation, placing too much responsibility on the parents. Despite Ellen Burstyn reprising her role as Chris MacNeil, her involvement feels superfluous and occasionally disrupts the narrative's flow. The film attempts to build tension through her estrangement from her possessed daughter, but it doesn't fully integrate with the main story. The climax of Believer is a microcosm of the film's strengths and weaknesses. It introduces a pantheon of belief systems converging to combat the demon, reflecting the importance of community during a crisis. While thematically intriguing, this complexity hinders the climax's effectiveness. The supporting characters are underdeveloped, except for Victor's neighbor Anne, whose nuanced performance adds depth to her character. The cacophony of different approaches during the exorcism makes the first half difficult to follow, but the second half improves as the stakes become clearer. The brief moments when Angela and Catherine resurface heighten the fear and uncertainty, offering powerful performances from Jewett and O'Neill. In conclusion, The Exorcist, Believer grapples with its iconic predecessor's legacy while attempting to carve its path. It boasts a talented cast and a timely exploration of community in crisis. However, the film struggles to fully escape the original's shadow and delivers a possession concept that lacks cohesion. Despite its efforts, Believer remains an imperfect homage to a horror classic,